funds.
Yeah, it's basically science education or culture, right? The three reasons.
All right, bring council meeting to order. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Cheryl, you want to do a prayer?
Oh, yeah, I can.
Yes.
Dear Heavenly Father, I just pray that you be with each of us tonight as we make decisions for our city, and I pray that you just give us wisdom and guidance and help us to do things that are the best for everyone that lives here. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right. What do we want to lead off with? Just do pay the bills?
Bills,
Go
I've
straight
got
to
them
the
right there in
bills.
front of, kind of in between Terry and Janae there.
Yeah.
This round, I don't have a ton of like, fund bills. There's no ancillary stuff really in there. It's mostly payroll and HRA payments and, those kinds of things. But it's good to go ahead and do that. We do have a little bit of a backlog of invoices just because, we were prioritizing the annual financial report ahead of getting some of these bills paid. We didn't have anything in there that looked dramatic or anything to get paid, so, and we'll have a meeting here in 2 weeks, so that'll be good.
I think just sand, the only expensive.
Sand was the big one. I'm trying to think of anything else. Midwest Data has a couple in there. Gilman, they're used to us having, a little bit of delay in our payments, but as far as the claims, that's all I've got. If there's any questions, let me know, but otherwise, we'll take a motion to approve those.
I will make a motion to approve the bills.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The minutes, I was looking over the minutes. There was some confusion on the TIF. When we were gonna do the TIF, we tried to move it to Tuesday. We couldn't. We had to keep it on Monday because it was a 10-day notice in the paper. So, I mean, the minutes are correct because that's what we ended up saying we were gonna try to do is move it on Tuesday, but we couldn't.
I could put an editorial note, like as a footnote at the bottom of the page, just to kind of break down what took place there.
If it wasn't for that 10-day thing, it was a special 10 days instead of the normal.
Oh, sure, yeah. The state, they like to have those timelines and things and make sure they're here too. Speaking of the annual report timelines, that's due the end of this week. If I had my wits about me today and it wasn't a payroll Monday and I didn't take off over the weekend, we might have an annual report to give you today. Orrin had knocked out a huge chunk of it, and now we're waiting on me to do the capital assets. Not a big chunk of it, but it's still something that'll take some time. I did send out the fund report to you guys that just kind of shows, hey, here's very high level. This is what our balance was January 1, income, expense, balance December 31st. So you guys can see that. That'll kind of, that's the main thing to look at. That the rest of the annual report has some color to it, just, highlighting various other aspects. Some of where we send our money gets put into there. Trying to think of other things that are big sections. But it's really, it's designed to say, hey, here's where your tax money went, citizens, and this is how we put it to work. So I would definitely have to have it by the March meeting. What day will that be? Is that the 9th?
Sounds close.
Yeah, the 9th.
Yeah,
Around there, yeah.
we'll have it then. I'll probably go ahead and send it out when we have it published this week. It'll probably be in the Friday Clerk's Outlook email that I send out. you know, just kind of that, so that it's in your hands sooner.
And you will lose an hour on that because the daylight savings time is on the 8th.
That's right.
So
It is.
that hour. every
And they
time.
said you have March 1st, it's the due date. But I really, like I say, I'm the holdup on this last piece, and it's the capital assets, and it's just, it's a little bit goofy. The state wants us to show, here's everything that we own that's a capital asset. Buildings, vehicles, doodads, it's everything that's considered a capital asset. And then they want us to have a depreciation for each one of those things broken down. Not exactly something, you know, that, doing a depreciation calculation doesn't do us any good. We don't get a tax write-off or anything, but what it's good for is to see the age of our stuff. This building was remodeled in 2005, it's been 20 years, we've been depreciating on it. We're probably gonna have some expenses coming up soon to get it back up to snuff. Roof, maybe the windows will start leaking or something, you know, things like that.
Elevator.
Elevate, oh gosh. I'd love to put in a big ramp somehow, but I don't think we can do that. But yeah, elevator is always a big one. But that's kind of why you do it. The tricky part is so much of our stuff is infrastructure, streets. How do you depreciate streets? You just do your best guess. And when you replace them, how do you do that? Because we don't break it down by section necessarily. So we use the PAMP a little bit to kind of back into the numbers. But that's always been the tricky part of putting together the annual report is the capital assets. And it's one that the state's starting to hit really hard. I have the conspiracy theory that they're really pushing that so that when everything becomes privatized and private companies buy it, they know what they're buying. They're getting these assets that are worth this exactly, and they can pay the citizens a lot less for those things.
Do you need this use plan?
Whenever you get it.
I finished it
I
in
usually-
November, I'll send it over.
I always have like the main thing, and then I know, you know, hey, if we do this kind of repair, add that, and we do have, because the PAMP, it does break it down by sections.
Yeah.
Kind of generally can figure out, hey, this is what's been fixed, so. But that'll be ready by the end of the week.
Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, no.
All right, so as far as approving the minutes, you're gonna make a,
We don't need to, we can do them at the next one if you want, and I'll send out a thing with with that kind of note at the bottom saying, you know, the meeting did take place on the 16th because of the inability to reschedule.
all right. Anybody got any questions on that while we're here? No?
If not, I'm gonna run to the library. Unless
See you later.
All right.
Thanks.
Did you get that binder? I gave you that. Was it big enough?
Yes.
Okay, because I got all kinds of stuff.
Perfect.
All right, we'll
Thank
see you. You here Wednesday? We'll see you.
Where we at next? Is the annexation?
Old
kind of-
business
or
annexation.
What is it,
Old business annexation.
Jared?
Annexation, we're proceeding, hiccup in it, sorry to say this, but basically, as the council knows, there's two things that you had to do for a petition. One was that you either had 50% of the people petition, or you have 75% of value. We have turned out that after doing calculations, we do not have the full 75% people petitioning. So what the goal is now is to proceed on the annexation, we need to get that 75%. So we're not gonna redo any meetings or anything else like that, but we need some people in that area to actually petition for this annexation to happen. Right now, we're not too far off. Basically, I think we're at 40%, and we need to get another 35% of the value. How it happened, basically what we did is we based it on 2024 numbers. At least that's what I've been able to figure. And then when we got the Reedy report, the numbers, the assessed values for all the residential properties increased, thereby moving the goalpost a little bit further for us. So the issue is that the mayor, me, Austin, we're gonna be working on getting people to sign a petition You know, probably a little bit more aggressively than we were in the past. We thought we had it, we don't. But as soon as we get that 75% threshold, that's when we will start that remonstrance clock. So I'm holding off on that remonstrance clock until the petition can be verified and we can move forward with it. So I thought council needed to know that, to make sure you guys are understanding where we're at in this process. And, you know, unfortunately, we got beat by statute in mathematics right now, but it's something we can overcome. So, question?
Just through the grapevine, you have these petitions, one of them down at the Arc.
No, that hasn't started yet. So I did get the remonstrance process.
Did you take it back from the Arc? Because they had something.
They can have it there. If somebody wants to sign a remonstrance, that's fine.
Well-
But I'm not running the clock yet, Terry.
No, but Denise had called and she goes, well, there's some guy here looking, as coincidence would have it in a small world, I knew the guy, and that's not what he was looking to sign for. He thought he was signing to complain about something else.
Oh, okay.
Going to say
And
there's
I said,
also
well,
that
no.
solar thing, right?
This was somebody that had been cheered on by somebody that hates Everett Leffler. And so he was looking to go ahead and sign off on anything to throw a wrench in. I said, that train has left the station. What are you talking about? Because they thought, well, there's a big meeting on Thursday. No, there's not. Okay, well, there's something for us to sign on Thursday at the Arc. Well, that's the evening that they're open later. And I said, I don't think that's a mandatory, what is it you're looking at? Well, it's for the annexation. I'm like, you live next door to me. That doesn't have a damn thing to do with
Yeah.
you. I said, well, I signed it anyway. So what I'm gonna say is that you might not wanna have that out for people that are just, you know,
Yeah.
one person tells one person tells one person, hey, there's something at the Arc, you need to go sign. And they'll.
So you're telling me this person had no clue what they're signing?
They
But wanted
just
to
knew that
complain
by
about it.
somebody
They
else
didn't
there
ask
was
any
something.
questions.
Which I'm glad they called to
Yeah, I'm glad
say,
they
this
did.
has
So I
nothing
need
to
to
do
go to
with
jail if he's
anything.
not telling the truth.
Well, I mean, this wasn't somebody trying to be deceitful. I just said,
Yeah.
you don't,
Yeah.
you're looking for something that's not there to, you can come over and yell at me all you want, but you can sign anything you want here at my house.
Yeah.
You can't, anything you sign down there is not what you're looking to do, so tell everybody else that you've told to go down there. I'm just saying, if you don't need that just yet, under the remonstrance, you might want to pull that off the
I'll
counter.
contact
Or
Denise.
ask
The
Denise.
other one's at the utilities course.
You might want to ask them both to
Yeah.
put that under the shelf until we get to a point where it's ready to put that out.
Okay, I think that's fair. I mean, especially if people are, that's alarming that people are gonna be signing remonstrance that don't live in the annexation area, but.
Oh, my God.
If they don't know what they're signing, they just know I'm upset about something, and here's where I go to sign off that I don't like it. Okay, well, I mean, they might not like the way their eggs were done in the morning. I don't know. But that's, I'm just saying, once you say it's out there, go sign this. All right.
Well, don't sign, that's, we don't want people to remonstrate, but it is what it is, and we have to go through the process and, you know, but anyway, that's my 2 cents on that,
Just
guys.
giving you the word you might want to say, hey, let's put those under the counter until we're ready to
Fair.
put them on top of the counter.
Well, thanks, Jared, because I had someone ask me over the weekend, and I thought we were in that remonstrance period. I didn't know that we, you
We
know,
were supposed to be.
yeah.
We're supposed to be, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I had a person come and tell me the numbers, I verified it, by God, her numbers were off, so.
Yeah, so thanks for
But
letting us
in
know that
event-
way.
We'll fix
I'll
it.
let them know that, no, we're not in it yet, so.
But we're gonna get there. Like I said, I want everybody to keep their chins up,
Just
that
kidding.
we just need to get a couple more individuals. It's not many, right? It's probably another 5 people, just with their houses, would put us over the threshold. So it's not like it's out of reach. It's just, we need the numbers, so if we ever do get challenged in court, we can have a good argument why. So, anyway, that's it.
Okay.
Any questions on the
Do
annexation?
we have a time frame on that? Like, I mean, are we limited that like you have 4 months to get this
No,
done? Okay.
no.
I mean, it's just already been drawn out so long, but.
It's, we've had our public hearings, we've abided by every piece of law except for this, the one that's probably I don't know, the thing that we need the most is to make sure that we have the right number,
Yeah.
so. But like I said, we solved that, we're good to go, and then the 90 days start, you know, that is what it is, so.
We'll be fine. Austin, you had something else? On?
We have new business from
Yes.
Council President Messer, yeah.
Before we jumped into that, and I kind of caught Austin in the hallway, I just wanted to kind of reiterate what we had talked about with this meeting's purpose when we agreed to have this at the end of last year, that this was going to be a meeting that we did pass, or approve, I should say, additional payments that Benny needed to make, so that we didn't have vendors waiting longer than necessary, but that this was going to be a working session and not necessarily a voting session. That, I think this is not well recognized yet enough in the public that we should be taking voting action on things that can be moved to the traditional first meeting of the month.
We already discussed this in the first meeting of the month. This is not a surprise what I'm bringing up here tonight. It's been discussed in
This
numerous
isn't
meetings.
just for
I'm
you.
just
I mean,
telling
when
you.
we first talked about having this meeting itself, it was for the purpose of conversation and discussion as a working session, not a voting session. And I just wonder, when you have a matter for vote, we have more people that make time, if they're interested, that are used to coming to that first scheduled meeting of the month that we've had traditionally than this one yet. So, we can, meet requirements with advertisement, and we can stick what we want in the window. But I think it's important to adhere to, also the spirit of saying that we're trying to be as open with the public as possible. So I
And
wanted
just
to-
as a reminder, I did put something out on Facebook that we were having a meeting tonight. I didn't say voting, but I said we were having a meeting tonight.
Yeah, it's publicized. It's already been documented by Alston. It's on our webpage that we have a second council meeting every month. So I don't have a problem with us
It was
voting on
introduced in
things.
the meeting minutes at the end of the year that this would be a working session, and everybody, yes, that's good. I'm just bringing that up, my own opinion, and you'll all do what you want with that, or what you like with your own.
Terry, may I ask one question? So one of the issues is passing ordinances during utility meetings. Every once in a while, we get into this trap where we do have to do 2 readings. You can't pass, and I don't like to pass anything on one meeting anyway. And I agree that utilities is not the place to do city business.
No,
But
it's
would you be open, though, because we do have that occasion every once in a while that we need to get ordinances passed that would have to take another month. Would you be open to those situations where
I
we
think
have
if
to
you're
pass?
making every effort at the first time that it's introduced to let people know this will be, especially if it's something that's a heated matter,
Sure.
to let them know that a decision will be made at this next meeting. You can't satisfy everybody. You can't pull everybody in to say you had to be here at the time. There's certainly some responsibility, if you're interested in what's going on with the city, to stay plugged in a little bit. But I think when it's kind of a many, many, many years of our decisions are generally made at a city council meeting, whether it be the first or second, since we moved to the second Monday for 7 years now, I'd just like to keep as many people plugged in
And we
to their
should.
attendance practices as we can. Before we said, well, you weren't at the second meeting when we
But
voted to do this in your backyard, so, that's.
But you agree, you'd rather, if we had to do business, you'd rather it be handled here than at the utility?
then at the utilities, and we all were 100% in agreement of that. We never
Well,
made this in.
like I said, I'm all into transparency and all that, but like I said, sometimes you do get these ordinances that you gotta get moving on, right? And I mean, probably 1 out of 5 are like that.
We generally don't always have the bonfires burning that we think we do. I mean, there's not always a sense of urgency that it can't wait for another couple weeks.
Sure, but I'll give you an exception. We had that guy with the mobile home. That guy was waiting for a permit. He was out of a home,
Did you get that together?
Yep. So we're working with Nicole on that right now. So we
Oh,
passed
so
it.
you don't have it right now?
I don't think she's given the permit yet, to my knowledge.
I meant to change that to, because we did like a reading on that.
Yeah, we got that passed.
No, we didn't pass it because you said you was gonna change something like an ownership.
Oh, yeah, we did, we
When I
were.
read the meetings from
We
that
did, I know, I
minute,
haven't changed it yet.
Yeah.
Michelle had a good question that I
Yeah.
thought there
That
was
would've
gonna
been
be
nice to do
clarification
now.
about.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, it kind of just dropped off my radar, Mayor. We do need to fix that.
Yeah, there was some,
There was basically, I think Sherry brought up the point that you wanted to add some specific language about the owner at the time. to
Yeah,
do
because I
that.
think the rest of us, when we read it, we assumed it meant the
Yes.
owner. But just so that way, if anyone questioned it later,
Yeah,
they would know that, like, if I own it now, I can't just give it to Terry and he can do whatever he wants with it later.
Yeah,
So,
and honestly, I think
yeah.
I actually fix the ordinance, I just don't have it prepared for this meeting.
Okay.
So, that's my
Can we
bad.
read it or do it like that and
We,
sign it
we
later? just so this guy
could, we
can
could,
get
but
his-
then next time we meet would be March anyway, you know?
I'm just trying to get this guy in his mobile home.
Okay.
I don't know. If we can't do it now, then we can't.
I mean, like I said, I haven't presented that to council yet. I don't know if I was council and I hadn't seen something, I wouldn't want to vote
I
on
think
it
we
today.
we
Yeah.
better,
That was the one we had the last time.
It was, but it
All
hasn't been
say
done.
was, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but anyway, that'd be my example, but it's a terrible example because I'm not ready to go with it, but, any event, I'll get that out to council. I'll get it out tomorrow morning for everybody, so apologize.
Sounds good.
So did we
Write her down so you don't
straighten out
forget.
Terry's question? What, do we have to do a
no,
motion?
thank you.
No, we just need to get that cleaned up so Earl can get his house back
Yeah.
up.
And regardless, we can vote on whatever we need to vote on here at this meeting. We don't attend council just to pay Benny's bills. It's publicized, everybody is well aware of the situation and everything going down. So we do our business as we need to do it. So,
All right.
I think that's a bad answer for when you talk about doing something at the
Let's-
working session and all of a sudden it is.
Let's
The next
move on
one
from
said-
that. We'll discuss that and see, we'll discuss that later. Let's move on from that one so we don't get in a big argument tonight. There was something, do you want to do your thing then?
yeah, I was just going to say, we now have our EIN number for the Making It Happen in Aurora to do the cultural community funds. And we were asking to have the seed money for starting that up to where we can start lining up our entertainment and getting shirts purchased and everything ready for our birthday party and events going on. We're going to come and ask council here for $3,000. That'll cover T-shirts and movies and decorations and stuff.
No. So Pam asked this question, do you need to recuse it? No, but you do need to file a conflict of interest form. So
Okay.
this is especially one of those, this is a group, you guys came together.
Yep.
So,
So we'll need to file that with you?
file that, whether or not you would like to step out from the vote on giving that money is an issue, right? Because then it would be the three, you're involved in it too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody's kind of, really has a position. So really it'd become from the mayor deciding whether or not you would be allowing them to vote on that. Is, my issue is this, as long as it is put out in front of everyone, that they know there's a conflict and everything else like that, whether you're willing to do it, as long as you're willing to do that vocally to everybody, you can kind of waive that conflict.
And then the other thing that has been discussed is the fact that we'd like to be, like, once again, super transparent about what we're trying to do, what we're accomplishing, and we are happy to report out every week, right along with Main Street, hey, we were given this amount of money, this is what we are doing with our money, this is our balance, this was our balance, we've spent this, this, and this is our new balance, to keep everything as open as possible, and that way if there's ever any audits or anything, it's in the minutes and it's in our books.
Do you guys got a treasurer and stuff like that?
Well, it's going to be in Joe Nay's name because
It's in-
she has the EIN and I was going to be the co-signer.
And then Michelle's going to keep our books.
All right. Okay.
Yep, as long as you disclose the holy Moses out of it.
Right,
it'll be okay.
absolutely.
So do we do something tonight or? is that-
No, they're just
Okay.
talking about.
We
some-
just wanted to fund our thing for the 3,000. We didn't know.
Yeah,
I think
disclose.
it's cool to
Can I
introduce
make a
it.
motion?
Well, if we're not going to move on anything tonight, if I understood you, Mr. Attorney.
You didn't say that.
right.
Is
Yes,
that what you
just
said?
did. That we're going to wait until.
Are you guys moving tonight to
I was
request?
moving tonight. I was putting the request out tonight.
Because we got the EIN.
This is
and
gone
we
back
wanna-
and forth.
The reason we want the money is because we're going to buy T-shirts with it. And with the money that we make off the T-shirts, so if the T-shirt costs, I'm going to throw out a crazy number, $15, and we sell it for $20, each $5 profit we make is going to go back in the kitty to help fund
our other stuff.
the bands and the whatever. I mean, we're not, obviously, we're not keeping any of this. It'll be 501c3. But that's why we wanted the seed money, to go ahead and begin getting the T-shirts. So we want to pre-order them too. And so that's why we wanted the money. T-shirts are about,
I do want to make a point real quick. We are not a 501c3.
We are not a
We
501c3.
just have an EIN number just to help let us do
Sorry.
business. correct?
That's correct.
That is correct.
Okay, so under that, how do you have this arranged by holding, I mean, it's just the group name, DBA, and you have an EIN?
Yeah.
Can I ask that only 2 of you be listed as party to this
Only
organization?
2 of us are in, well, all 3 of us are being part of it. We have it in council chambers, but there's only 2 of us on the checking account, and then the third one is keeping the,
I'm just
The
keeping a
books.
record of
She's just keeping
what they're
records.
doing.
Well, I just, to make
I'm
it
not doing anything else.
look very much like we don't have a majority voting to give themselves money, is what I'm
Yep.
saying. So, you know, if it's Jonee and Pam are the ones that are carrying this torch, that's fine, so that the city, when we have a vote, you know, I would expect the 2 of you to not be party to it, even
Okay.
if you recuse yourself from it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be
well, I'm fine with it, I
And
don't
that's
care.
that's what I was asking, Terry. I just want to be full transparency. So I'll recuse myself.
Well, if it was me, I would say, hey, if I have a party in this, I just don't want to be
Yeah.
the one voting to say,
Yeah.
give it to me. So-
Yes, because, and that's why I asked. I wasn't sure what the
What the rule was.
So like I said, you disclose it's fine, but that's a different issue than, you know, the public stigma. Are you giving money to yourself for your own benefit, right? That's, you know, I think Terry, what he's bringing up, it's not, you don't legally have to do it as long as you disclose and everything. But man, it's bad form, right? I mean,
Okay,
you know,
I'm fine.
so.
That's just a
I
suggestion.
can recluse myself,
Yeah.
Pam's reclusing herself, and you guys can vote on it. That's fine by me.
Okay. So do you want to move the 3,000 out of that miscellaneous that we got and put it in there? Is that what you're asking?
That is what I am asking, yes, sir.
All right.
That way we can start moving on things and start booking our entertainment.
Okay, so you 2 are including yourself, so is there a motion to move the 3,000 over to the EIN for the park?
How much of a budget do you see this taking overall, or is this kind of, you say seed money?
Well, we're asking for the upfront right now, for the 3,000, like I said, we're gonna get our shirts and get our movies and,
If you're saying 200 shirts,
yep,
$5 profit a shirt.
yeah, and then we can turn around and put it back in and hopefully fund other things that are gonna go on this year. Yeah,
I want a shirt.
you want a shirt? I'll sell you
I'll
one.
put
We
your
have an
name right
order
on my
form.
list right here. I got a list right
We
here.
have an order
so-
form right there.
No, there wasn't a scale that you had in mind that this would be.
Well, when we originally talked about this at one of the meetings, I'm not for sure which one, it was December probably, that there was a number all the way as high as 10,000 that they were talking about that would be eligible for this thing, but we just want to start out and see where we can get ourselves. We want to kind of take care of our own business and make things happen. I don't need the 10,000 by any means. Now, if they're, like I said, we're going to try to pay for our own entertainment and everything with our,
And this account is not just for the 250th birthday.
No, it is not.
This is going to help with,
other events that are
Michelle,
going
yeah,
to go
other
on.
events like the Steampunk Festival,
We had a whole bunch of ideas at our last meeting that we had with
some
everyone.
things.
Yeah, and again, I might suggest that you kind of keep this kind of narrow as to what your intentions are to do with it. If there's broader things that,
Well, I think it's pretty much for events at Gabbard Park.
Gabbard Park.
It's
Exactly.
events that the city is contributing to,
Not
or
the,
not the city, but I
this
mean,
initial
Council
three,
people.
the initial
Yeah.
3,000 is for that, or is
The
that what
initial
you're asking,
3,000,
Terry?
the initial
It's just the
3,000 is for the
250th.
events that are happening through the summer. We want, the 2 movies is the one thing we're going to fund right
Oh,
now.
okay, those aren't all like having to do with the birthdays?
No,
Oh,
no, no, we want to build up all the way through, starting Memorial Day weekend, all the way up to the June 27th at Light Up Aurora and the 250th birthday party.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the more things that this may be able to help generate activity on, maybe the cleaner it looks if there is a separate organization, legally defined organization outside of just parties to city council that are saying.
Well, that's
we
why
wanna
we've
help do
involved the
this.
community in it. We had 9 people show up at our last meeting,
Yes.
including Main
Yeah, I
Street
think it's
Lions
great. I'm just
Clubs
saying,
and
take those
everything.
9 people along with your leadership and.
Oh, we have a
kind
whole
of combi-
website of people.
And that's fine, but combine that into a legally established,
Yeah.
We're working on an
So-
official
so-
organization with the
Let me clear
501c3.
something up. So it is a legally established organization. It is
Come on in,
not,
Tally.
Come on in.
it isn't a corporation under the Indiana Flexible Business Act. right? But either are churches. I can tell you there's plenty of churches.
No,
that are
I'm
not.
just saying, when you have elected officials
Oh, I
involved
gotcha.
in things like this, I mean, it's important to say, you know, that you kind of want to push that arm's distance away from you.
Yeah.
And the more that you say you want to do, and it sounds like there's enthusiasm and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the potential to raise more money, you don't want to kind of intermingle that within, you know, again, you'll remove yourself from a vote, absolutely, but then also keep it as something, whether it be under the umbrella of a 501c3 organization, make it happen, or what have you, that get established right away so that you can kind of transition funds under that umbrella and have some declared officers and some
Right.
things that you can say, here's, when I sign my conflict of interest disclosure, this is what I'm involved with, and this is where it starts and stops, just to help protect the people that are involved with it, as
Yep.
much as,
100% agree, and we've had that discussion in the past meetings, and it has been brought up, and we have decided this was the quickest way to get us funding and move over the finish line right now, with the full 100% intention of developing the 501c3. There's many more steps to get across that finish line, and we had to do this to make things move.
All right.
So, with that being said, I
So-
still have it out there for the request, however
So-
you want to handle it.
So is there a motion to move that out of the miscellaneous 3,000 into that account?
I'll make a motion to
And that's
move.
excluding Pam.
And Janae,
And Janae.
I'm excluded.
So there's a motion on the floor from Michelle. Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm going to say no. I mean, I think you could go ahead, if you're just getting this off the ground, you've got the support, why don't you go ahead and start lining up the items and just have these paid to council versus anything else? I mean,
So the motion fails, of course.
It fails, you got
Why
2 out
does
of
it
3.
fail?
You need to have 3 out of the 5, majority of council has to vote.
But then how do we
we're
recluse
recused.
it? How are you
I
ever
know
going to
you're
get
recusing,
that?
You're not voting. You can't get it unless all 3 of you agree, so the 3 remaining voting have to agree. It's not, like I said, it's got to be a majority of council, 3 out of 5, regardless of who's recusing or not, has to vote in affirmative to pass a motion.
All right, then we might as well just shut this down and kiss this all goodbye.
I don't think you need to do that. I'm just
Well,
saying
we
that
can't
some of
buy
these things need to be
t-shirts,
looked
So
at.
we can't make money.
Can't do
And so
anything,
how are we
Terry.
gonna
Thanks
pay
for showing up
rest
at
of the-
council
Hey,
again,
it-
we appreciate that.
There is a way to move it around. We'll get it taken care of. Just do your meeting and we'll figure it out, okay?
Perfect.
We'll be fine.
I do have, so I want to bring up, are we on to something else?
Yes.
Okay, well, Terry was talking about, you know, like, he didn't want this voting going on, and that's his opinion, that's fine. And you kind of said, well, we're not gonna argue about it right now, that's what this meeting is for. And so I think we need to figure that out, like, are we gonna vote, or, you know, what are we gonna do with these second meetings and make a decision? So instead of just saying, we're not gonna,
I'm going to
Do
go ahead and
anything
put the
about it.
motion out there. This is a second council meeting, we do whatever we have to do to run our business. It's not just I want to come in here and have fun on a
So-
random Monday night.
So your motion, we have a motion on the floor. Got a second on that?
I'll second the motion as long as like we have this stuff beforehand.
Absolutely.
You know, just like for a
And-
regular council
Sure.
meeting.
Yes.
Just so that, like for use the mobile home one as an example, that we had it in our hands before we came into this
Yeah,
meeting.
I don't want to pop anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, and not just the same day, like a few days ahead of
And
time.
we've already submitted everything that we'll have it the Friday before our meetings
Yeah.
for all
So if we
ordinances.
don't have it the Friday before.
Pam, I got it. Let's
Yeah.
not do my
got it.
darndest,
Yeah,
please.
so I second, as long as it's gonna work just like our
Yeah.
other council meeting.
Yeah.
I just think we need to get it cleared. And so, yeah.
All right, so there's a motion.
And Michelle seconded.
Michelle seconded
Michelle
it.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
If everybody wants to go ahead and use this as a voting meeting, I'll go along with that. It just was not the way it was approached to begin with.
All right, so we will, that's all in favor then, correct, Terry?
Yes.
Okay. So we will, and put them out so people know that they are here. So if we have to do something like in the first meeting, we'll let everybody know in the audience, everything. We'll carry it on to this 2
Yeah.
weeks later.
I think that's a much
I
better.
think
Okay.
that's a good plan.
Yeah. Because a lot of times, it is needed sometimes because you can't wait 30 days for everything. Everything moves so slow.
Right.
So, yeah.
What- You're
As long as
right, but
everybody's
sometimes
aware.
there's a reason it needs to move slow. to allow people a chance to catch up to it. And that's not easy to grasp, or it's not easy to be comfortable with. I know I wasn't for a long time, but, I mean, sometimes that ends up being the best way in the long run.
All right. Anything else? Audience?
Public comment?
I do have one question, and I realize it's the $3,000, would that come out of your $10,000 slush fund?
No,
Or you
that
talking
comes
about
out, there's a
this 105 miscellaneous?
there's a miscellaneous fund, it's got like 50,000 in
50?
it. Well, that's where we took 10,000. Is it 50 or 60, something like that?
I think it's closer to 60.
Yeah, but we took 10 out for repairs and stuff like that already for the Little League baseball fields. They're gonna get started on those.
So is that just called a miscellaneous fund?
Yes, Benny wanted
It
that.
was called restricted savings, subject to 63,000, is what we had put in there as part of the budget.
That's what Benny wanted it.
I don't feel like it
I
was
was
a,
just thinking that stuff is coming out of the 10,000 that's listed under mayor's 10,000.
I'm only allowed to go 1,000 on that one. I can't give out 3 or I would. So anyways. Anybody else? Public comment?
Well, now wait, that being the case, with that, I mean, if you want to go ahead and ask for a vote to move that money out of your events, and, I don't care if we move it back later, I'm okay with that too. I'm just saying, we don't have what you want to ultimately have established as far as an organization in place yet. So if you want to go ahead and help front this with the seed money, that's okay. I mean, all we'd have to do is say you're asking for it under your budget, we're going to vote to help you out with it under the terms of what they had all to
My
put in.
10,000 slush fund?
I don't think it was a slush fund, I think it was your event fund.
Well, it's an event fund, but
I'm just saying that's
I would
a
move that
workaround.
3,000 out of there. How about a motion to move the 3,000 out of the 10 that we have for events and put it into there? Can I get a motion to do that?
I would make that motion to go ahead because you already have it.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Aye.
Yes.
he
Okay.
made the motion.
All right, pass. Take the 3,000 out of the slush fund.
Don't call it a slush,
Miscellaneous event.
Don't call it a
Let's call it an
contra
event
fund
fund.
either.
event fund.
I had one other question. Do you have to publish that remonstrance thing in the paper?
I already did, I have to,
Oh, it is?
yeah, it already was published, so we're gonna have to do a retraction on that, so.
Which makes even more sense to hide the stuff under a desk or not let people see it out, the art and the utility.
Yeah, I don't wanna hide anything under a desk, of course, but,
No, he just,
Jesus, we're all using slush funds, hide stuff under, jeez, oh, Pete. No, but I understand. I think, like I said, Denise and Randy will talk to them and get that back under, so.
all right. All right, if we have no more public discussion, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to.
Second.
Oh, second.
Second.
Adjourn.